Welcome to another episode of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Waterdeep Dragon Hoist.
Are there pulleys involved and winches?
I think you asked this last time.
Did I? I don't think so.
They're very, very well maybe. Who knows? We shall find out this time. So, hi everybody. How you doing tonight? We have a full house tonight, and all sorts of crazy contraptions might be going on in this episode. We shall see where our troupe of characters takes us. Where that is, I never know.
The pub.
The
pub. I mean, just the pub.
The pub.
Always.
It has to be the pub.
So,
GG.
let's do introductions and then we'll do a slight recap. In the top left corner is Kashka.
Hi, I'm playing Grifola, Deep Gnome Warlock. Woot woot.
And next to her, we have Lissa and Mr. Monkey.
I am playing Natea Cloudbane. I'm an Asmar paladin. And you?
And I, Tabaxi Rogue, Smoke on the Horizon.
Are you sure you're playing Taya Cloudbane there, Lissa? I'm just checking.
Yes.
Okay.
I have it pulled up just in case.
I just had to poke at you there. Okay, and next to them we've got Robin.
Fernriker, Gloomstalker Ranger, who remembers his name.
All right, well done. And then myself, I'm Valen. I will be the Games Master / Dungeon Master for this evening. Sorry for us starting a little bit late. That's my fault this time. But hey, it usually is. So let's do a recap without knocking my microphone around. Last time our group was at the
House of Inspired Hands.
No. We started the episode at the cemetery.
Oh, sorry, different story.
Yep, where you guys were leaving after. Actually, why don't you give a recap, Robin?
Oh.
Nope, not happening.
You've been volunteered, sir. Come on.
Nope, not happening.
All right, so they left the graveyard under questionable circumstances.
I don't know what you're talking about.
After, I'll just say, slightly harassing one of the members there, but also gaining lots of new information from the corpses that were left from the explosion that previously happened in front of their own place of residence. Trailing down some of this information, they tracked it over to the west side of town in the Sea Ward, not Sea World, Sea Ward, the House of Inspired Hands, where they found a strange museum-like house, or building, I should say, that seemed to be staffed by peoples that were pretty much giving tours and so on of magnificent contraptions and all sorts of wonderful machinery, statues and artwork, as well as just some really cool things that could potentially be worth gazillions and gazillions of dragons. Yeah, I think you guys buy that one. All right, so
Also, no, I'm still contemplating how pissed Grifola is that she's not going to see any dolphins or killer whales or she thought she was going to SeaWorld, so now she's going to SeaWorld.
You totally had me for a minute there. Oh gosh.
She's out, man. There's no captive wildlife. Sorry, go on.
That's all right. So once inside, though, or once they got there, they were attacked by a small mechanical bird. Whether it by accident or otherwise is yet to be determined, but it instantly smashed itself into the ground while taking a diving approach towards one of the characters. And they went inside to let them know. But the person who runs the place, Valletta, a dragonborn priest of bronze dragon ancestry, she was rather upset by the information that they had been told, and she then said, "Come with me, we shall go talk to Nim, who is most likely the person responsible, at least it would seem, for this little mechanical bird attack." Upon getting to the top of the door, or the top of the stairs, Nim's door is locked with a new lock that was previously not there, according to Valletta. And the silver-tongued human ranger in the group was able to talk Nim, who is apparently on the other side of this door, into releasing said latch.
One thing to note, Vern can barely talk to people.
But apparently, there was something in common with this one. So,
But he can talk to a door.
that's
Got
right.
that.
That's right.
Maybe that's the key.
It-
It wasn't actually a person. It was.
Maybe you need to have the personality of a doorknob in order to talk to the person on the other side. Maybe. Or maybe it was just a really good charisma roll. I think that was actually what it was.
I'm
Because
trying
look
to
at
figure
this
out the logic of
persuasion roll. That was
Maybe I
good.
just shouldn't think about it too hard.
All right. So moving in here, the door unlocks. Click, click, and it slowly just kind of comes ajar a little bit, and with that, Valletta, the dragonborn priest, then instantly just like storms forward and says, "Pardon me," as she kind of like pushes past. I'm going to remember your name in a minute here. Why can't I remember Vern? Is Vern Riker. It's going to push past Vern, say, "Pardon me," and then pushes the door open. Says, "Nim, how dare you take so long to open this door? Where did that extra lock come from?" And upon walking in, let's see if I can find a little... I don't have one? That's interesting. I thought that I had an image of one of those. Well, if I can find one, I will let you guys know. But you find what looks to be some kind of mechanoid humanoid of sorts. Kind of puppet-like, in a way, one might describe it as. But there's no mouth. It seems to have, human-like features and stuff, but they're all like sharp edges and whatnot. It seems to be some sort of automaton of sorts that is animated, but it doesn't have a mouth. And she's chastising Nim, and you guys can see within the room a large menagerie of all sorts of gizmos and gadgets spread everywhere in this room, all over the place. Little shiny objects and whirring devices and things like that, just all like half assembled. Yeah, I see it. Like laying around on tables and stuff.
Smoker's already stolen 5 of them at least.
But you guys instantly see that Nim is like using some strange version of what could be described as sign language to communicate to Valletta, and not actually verbalizing any kind of comments or anything. And she's basically like going back and forth. It's like chastise, chastise, chastise. Chastise, chastise, chastise. So it's like very loud and then dead quiet, and all you hear is like these little click clacks of like the little mechanical hands and stuff making these different symbols and stuff, and she's understanding. And sometimes they overlap each other while they're doing it. But she gets really upset. Like, she looks like she almost was ready to strike him. And she calls down like past everybody at this point. And starts calling for other employees, priests, guards, whatever you want to call people who live or work here, to come up into Nim's place of living, one might assume. And she says, "Take it all out. Every last bit. Never again, Nim. Never." And Nim just kind of wilts in place and just kind of like sits across, and you guys can start seeing that they're like gathering all of these like objects and items and starting to like just put them all in big bags and sacks and stuff and starting to drag them all out one piece at a time. Actually, in large groups. You guys are welcome to jump in at any time if you want to. Otherwise, I'll just let you know how it continues playing out.
When she goes to strike him, does she like, or when she seems like she's about to strike Nim, does she like raise a hand or anything, or?
It looks like she almost was ready to breathe fire breath, but not at him. More
Okay.
like at the things in the room.
Okay.
Before the others arrive, I'll throw a sleight of hand to pocket a few things.
Why don't you see if something might catch your eye? Let's have you do...
I think like the whole room is the answer.
Yeah, an investigation check. Oh, nice. There's lots of bits and pieces of stuff. You grab like the occasional little tiny thing that no one notices without any effort. But let's see you do a sleight of hand as well. Okay. And you're able to grab all sorts of interesting little knickknacks and things. Most of which you're just like, it's palm size, it's mine. You know, it fits, I sits, you know. So it's coming with me. You get some new tools to add to your to replenish your lockpick set as well. Amongst these little doodads and gizmos, lots of little screwdrivers and whatnot. But you find something very curious, and you grab it, and it's a little difficult to conceal, but it seems to have a small umbrella upon it. And it's got like a lever on the handle, and it's got all sorts of like little hooks and gadgets and stuff. Did you want to actually comment on any of these things, or did you just want to just pocket as much as you can?
I'll pocket as much as I can, and then, you know, I'll show Natea my prizes later.
Okay. Okay. So this item, I would like the rest of the group. What are your passive perceptions, please?
Crap.
Should be below all your
14.
main stats. What?
12.
13.
14.
14. Okay. So before that strange little umbrella tipped, and it's like a small umbrella, item is nabbed by Smoke. Vern is able to see this item, and it's sitting out. It looks complete in some strange way, but it also looks standoutish, like it was recently used, the way that it's sitting. The rest of you see like a flash of metal and color going through. You kind of missed it. Vern, I don't know if you wanted to do or say anything about it. Otherwise, it is going to be snatched up quickly by Smoke.
I will point out that it's been used.
Okay. All right. And she would, Valletta would say, yes, most of these things have been recently. I so am sorry. And she goes to start talking to Vern. And this is when Smoke is able to snatch it. You now have, I'll just call it the umbrella device for now. It's about 1 foot long, has a little tiny umbrella on the tip, and some kind of lever next to the handle. And she says, I'm so sorry. Apparently, Nim here has... Well, first he created that small bird, apparently, that did go off and attack you, and its behavior was demonstration of further horrible things to happen. I'm going to have to report this as well. But currently, he tried manufacturing a friend. He's what's called a nimble right. I don't know if you have met or experienced a Nimble-right before. Those of us here are very familiar with such a being, but they're mechanoid and sometimes can develop personality. Nim here is a unique specimen, and we are able to keep him on the grounds with the Magister's office and so on, properly licensed and whatnot. But we're supposed to keep him under wraps, and therefore we were keeping him busy and entertained with the little knickknacks and things so that he could create his own little inventions and whatnot. Something harmless. But in this case, he took it too far. Now, I do apologize for that small bird, but apparently he has made a duplicate of himself, but not in personality. And she kind of like raises one eyebrow as she looks over at him, really scowling, and he just kind of shrinks further, if that's even possible. He's kind of folded himself up into the corner at this point and looks like so minuscule in comparison. It's weird how well he was able to fold himself away. But she says, now here's the thing though, is that these things are not allowed to run through the city unlicensed. And she looks over the group and says, are you for hire? I would appreciate it. I will offer you 500 dragons if you're able to destroy this creation and bring me evidence of its remains.
Gavella says,
Okay.
in a quiet voice, she just says, 600.
Is she saying that to the rest of the group or to Valletta?
She's just kind of like actually not looking at anybody. She's just kind of like looking, like not making eye contact with anybody. She's just kind of like looking off to the side, and she just says 600.
And she looks down at you and says, well, sadly I don't have that much, but I can offer you more. What I can do is, I'm sure you've noticed below, she looks flustered, but she looks more pressed at this point, like more interested in, like, this is unacceptable, we're in so much trouble type situation, you know. She's doing what she thinks is best to get the situation remedied. She says, one, I should say that it may be dangerous, this Nimble-right.
Yeah, hence the 600.
Right. And I do not...
It's an understatement.
She says, I do not have that amount, but I can offer you several of our inventions as on top of the 500 for recompense.
Perhaps they could be inventions that are useful in also finding said friend or aiding in our combat against said friend.
Well, actually, at this point, Nim kind of like peeks out and just kind of like does a couple hand motions upon hearing some of these words being made. And she looks over at him and says, not now. She doesn't even look like she looked at it.
I'm gonna say, hang on, stop right there. What did he just say?
And she looks over and says, Nim. And he comes out and like stands up, but very like slumped over and stuff. And he does the motioning again. And she says he said that one of his items that he had in his workshop. And she calls for one of the guys to come back. Says apparently had an ability to find other Nimble-rights. And
do I know that Smoke has nicked stuff?
You did not see.
Okay, that's what I thought. Sorry, Smoke.
Actually, nobody saw him take it.
I have a feeling that I'm about to bust you.
Now the thing is though is that what is it? Raven, your character actually saw Smoke, or saw the this item, this detector. You know that it exists because you saw it. And she says, apparently he says it's got a small umbrella on it and a trigger on a handle. I guess. Come help me. And she says, bring those bags back here. And she starts having them come back. So they start slowly emptying the bags out in that same room, right at your guys' feet. And they start like sorting through them.
Yeah, I'll lean down and act like I'm looking, and then palm the thing. And is this it?
Are you gonna reverse pickpocket?
Yes. Flick like that.
All right, let's see that sleight of hand. Oh yeah, not a problem. So you go, is this it? And Nim, in the first time actually responding without using any hand gesture, shakes its head yes. And excuse me, Valletta says, apparently that's it. Nim had said that you need to be within about 500 feet of a Nimble, right? Other than Nim? And he shakes his head. It shakes its head again. And it should start to activate. It moves and makes whirs and clicks, I guess. It's something with spinning and whatnot. But the closer you are, the faster it moves. And he shakes his head yes again. And that's one way of finding them. Apparently, it was going to be used to... Why did you make such a thing? And...
Maybe because he's lonely.
He's
stuck up here in this room by himself.
Right. Well, that's the thing, though, is that usually they don't develop those kinds of feelings either. So.
Yeah, but the one he made's female.
Tiny little baby robots.
Are you saying that because this one's been deemed evil already, or are you saying this otherwise?
Well, when you're locked in a room by yourself.
All right, then in that case, Nim's female. Now what?
All right, then it's a male.
Seems fair.
All right, Nim's pansexual. Now, anyway, so she says, take that device with you. It should help you to find it. In fact, that'll probably speed things along, though it's still quite a big city.
So what else you got?
She says, like I said, I'll offer you one of several. There's 4 of you. I will give you 4 different inventions that we have. I have 4 of which currently available here. And she kind of like has this like snarky response. And Nim just kind of like looks away at this point. And says, they're just in the next room here.
How tall is Nim?
He's... Actually, I'm not really sure how tall Nim is. Let's see. It says here... Mostly lightweight wood. Doesn't actually say. So I would say probably like 5'10". Average like humanoid height-ish. Sorry.
I'll just ask her. I was like, well, it's funny that you mentioned this other prototype because that's what we've actually came here to talk to you about.
And she says, "Oh,
yeah. Any idea of its personality by chance, or do you just know that he made it as a copy of himself?"
Nimble writes by nature are usually a magical construct to serve as a guard, but more often as an assassin.
Yeah, I can confirm that.
And the fact that Nim here is not one that actually has magic in most cases means experimentation and danger. And therefore I would say it is highly likely it is dangerous. Could be used for who knows what. Usually you would have to have a lot of strict control over these types of things.
Okay, so somebody, preferably I'm sure a magic user, pretty powerful, would be able to control this thing.
Quite possibly.
Use it as an assassin.
either that or persuasively.
Tiny little bead bombs that blow up whole squares and kill people. Okay, got it.
Well, without usually them being created with magic, they're bound to the creator and their servant. But in this case, she looks over at Nim, says, I would say it's gone rogue, and therefore even more dangerous, susceptible to persuasion or outbursts, perhaps. Think of it as a toddler that's human size and able to stab people at will.
Or throw things and blow people up, yes. So I'm going to lean on that this thing was probably persuaded to do what it did. We lost quite a few people because of that construct.
And she says, I don't follow you.
While they're talking, by the way, I'm just kind of like inching like sideways until I'm standing next to Nim, and then I just kind of like slip my hand in Nim's hand if he'll let me.
Nim will actually flinch and pull away quickly, and
I look dejected.
try and hide its face further and crouch down again.
I look dejected.
Sorry. So she says, and how so? I don't quite follow.
Well, it's a long story, but to make it short, we were attacked at our recently new business, the whole square, and the witnesses saw this construct on the roofs who happened to throw the bomb that exploded and not only destroyed buildings but killed a lot of people.
Says, dear Lord.
Yeah,
please.
so
Says, please, I beg of you, I don't have any more that I can offer at this point. I will involve the watch at this point, but I fear...
No, we could take care of it. We were just mainly coming to see you for information, but this actually... Sorry, cat spooked me. Yeah, I mean, but we were actually coming to talk to you about this, so you've provided quite a bit of information already.
Says, all right, well, you've got the detector. Then I'll tell you what. I'll make a payment of good faith in this point. I'll give you the technology over here up front and the 500 gold pieces upon completion.
I think that's a wise choice.
I just shake my head. I said, that's fair enough. I said, do you mind, if I get a good look at Nim to get an idea of these things? I'll look at Nim and say, do you mind if I look at, kind of just, I won't touch you. I'll get on my knee because I'm probably taller than he is. And I'll just kind of I just want to get a good look at you.
You can see Nim kind of raise Nim's head up towards Valletta, and Valletta says, go on then. And Nim stands up. And just kind of goes rigid. More or less, there's no emotion on the face. It's a carved face. There's, as you notice, there's no mouth. There are. Imagine like a magically enchanted, probably like Pinocchio. Really, got no strings. But there are points of metal and stuff. Apparently, like along the hands and stuff, because that is where a lot of the wear happens for like using wood and whatnot, but there's not too much. It's mostly wood. And it looks humanoid. And she said, now, nimble rights can vary quite a bit. It all depends on how they were carved. Nim, can you describe any differences from yourself? And Nim starts motioning and stuff, and then she says, of course. And she says, Nim always took to the old keeper here, and he had a beard and long mustaches. And she actually kind of like has this little grin on her face, just because like she's thinking back. Says, so it has a mustache, long mustaches, and a pointed beard coming off its chin that are all carved.
Okay. They're actually carved, not like actual. It's not furry.
Well, there is a little bit lost in the translation for that, but I believe that is correct, yes. And
I'll give it a sniff. That way I can get kind of an idea of the scent.
okay. Smells like wood.
What kind of wood has different scents?
Naughty wood.
Wow. Wow.
Wood who's in a lot of trouble.
Trying to keep my mind.
Get your minds out of the gutter, people. Jeez. All right. So, Valletta says, "Well, if you'd follow me, I'll take you over here, and you can have the items that we have." And she produces a key off of her belt and takes it to the lock and unlocks the door. Opens it up, and it's kind of like this really small, like attic-y space. But it's big enough that if everybody poured in, you'd take up every amount of standing room in there. But thanks, Foxy. Yeah, you'd take up every amount of space in there just by standing in there because of the stuff that's in there. And she says, "All right, so," and she just grabs the first item and hands it to the closest person, which I'm assuming is going to be
Natea.
okay. Natea. She hands you the first item, and it looks like a pair of stilts of sort. And she says, "Here, take this." And she grabs the next item and she hands it to the next person, who is.
If she's giving out presents, I'm like.
She hands you a backpack. Says,
Ooh.
"Here, take this."
Okay.
And then she grabs this small metal cube and goes to hand this to. Hello?
I guess I'll take it.
Hands it to Smoke. And then she goes, "What? I thought there was something else in here. I guess that's it. Oh, no, there it is." And she grabs a small pipe sitting in the corner.
Like smoking pipe?
Mm-hmm. And hands it to Vern. And she says, "There you go."
Do you know what they do?
Oh, right. Sorry. I'm used to everybody here familiar with the inventions. So you, and she points to Natea, says, "Those are adjustable stilts. It'll take you a little bit to put them on your feet, but once you do, they'll increase the height of anybody wearing them that they can fit. Obviously, if you're like a horse or something, it'd be a bit too. Anyway, it'll increase your height by 2 to 5 feet."
I just look at Griffola.
And
I like being short.
fully collapsed, they are 1 foot long. And she says they're adjustable, so you can have them vary. You can
Don't you want to be super tall?
You can raise and lower yourself.
Wow. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Each single stilt weighs 8 pounds, so that's 16 pounds total for these things. They're fully made of metal, and they seem to have some kind of hydraulic about them. All right, and she looks over Griffola, over to Smoke.
Sorry,
like she's panning and just looks right over Griffola because all she sees is a pack sitting there, because this is a big backpack, and it's kind of like covering you for the most part. And she looks over at Smoke.
I've got the lament configuration. Am I going to call out some Cinnabite?
She says, so this cube, and it's 6 inches on a side, has a crank on the top. Says it just takes a few seconds. You just need to crank this around, and it'll activate for 8 hours. I think it's 8 hours, or is it 8 minutes? I think it's 8 hours.
That's a big difference, lady.
While it's working, the box will bark whenever it detects vibrations within 15 feet of it. As long as the box and the source of the vibrations are in contact with the same ground or substance, of course. A switch on one side of the box sets it to emit either a small dog's bark or a large one. I was particularly proud of that one myself. But yes, it's more or less an alarm that would...
Borkomatic.
Yeah, it's called a barking box.
No, it's called a Borkomatic now.
Okay, whatever. It's yours. And she says, wait a minute. Oh, right. I'm sorry. I looked right over you.
Yes,
the backpack.
I'm not just talking backpack. It's amazing. I have arms and legs too.
So this is a parachute.
So I can jump off the back of eagles?
Yes, you
Sweet.
could. Provided that you've got enough space. I mean, it takes up think of it as a large bed sheet, like sprawled out in the air above you, held by ropes and strings to this backpack. You just need to more or less pull this cord, and it'll open up in a large space. So if you're falling down a very narrow path, you're still doomed. But if you jump off of a very high cliff, then it will open up. But I think you need. Oh, what was our testing? Yes, you need at least 60 feet for it to work.
60 feet, like I need more than 60 feet before I hit the ground? Is that what you're saying?
For it to actually slow your descent, yes.
Okay, got it.
Our testing proved anything less than that was undesirable.
I feel
How
like
many people do you flatten?
So, you have something as well, don't you?
just ignores all questions.
Says, one last thing with the parachute. It's reusable, but you will need to spend some time to repack it properly. Anyway.
Oh God, it sounds terrible.
She says, and you've got the most valuable item of all. The matchless pipe. It'll be quite the rave in court, I tell you. And she grabs it while it's in your hand and kind of puts it up to your mouth. You're all like, whoa. She kind of says, look, you just need to move this little switch on the outside of it.
I'm kind of behind her, like mocking her while she's doing this.
And she's kind of like pushing this pipe practically in your mouth there. And
there's no boundaries, lady.
and she says, you just flick this switch and it automatically will light your tobacco for you. You don't need a lighter, matches, or anything like that. Just a few flicks.
Hey, that's useful, like our, lightless candle.
Lightless candle? That sounds horrible. Why would you want a lightless candle? Anyway,
Birthday parties.
the matchless pipe. We actually do plan to produce more of those and sell them across the city soon. But you can have this prototype. It is working and should last you for quite some time.
How much can I sell it for?
I don't know.
That was out of character.
They've never sold one before, so.
Ooh, so it's one of a kind.
It's a prototype.
Time to start a bad habit, son.
It's good for smoking pipe weed. So there you go. Let's go.
Can we possibly figure out how to use all of these things at once? Smoking the pipe while using the stilts to jump off the top of
something. Off the roof, and I'll give her the sort of strap the stilts on her while she's smoking the pipe. Put the alarm at the bottom so we know she hit.
Yeah, the box on the bottom would be the best. We use the stilts to increase her height so she could jump a little higher up. Parachute. This pipe, just hope it doesn't, ignite the parachute.
How do you work the box with the barking detector?
The box is going to detect when I become Graffola Jam.
Oh, when you land. It goes. Okay. Perfect.
Hey, maybe smoking a pipe will up his charisma. It'll make him look distinguished.
Yeah.
You can always walk around with it
Could
in
be
his mouth
super persuasive.
Yeah. You can use it to point at stuff because, pipes help you point.
Yeah. I feel like we need to get you a hat to go with this pipe now.
Oh, gosh.
And a monocle.
was thinking like Deerstalker, you know. I mean, we're like running around solving all these mysteries, so you may as well look the part as well.
I just shake my head and take my stilts and walk back into the other.
Sherlock Vern.
Right.
No.
So,
Well, thank you for the items. We probably should get move on to try to find this thing before it kills and maims or whatever it does to other people.
and
I have a pretty good idea
she-
who might have hired it.
she asks for your names.
I say, well, the short one is Griffola. I'm just like giving everybody's names. I don't care.
I put my hand out when she says my name. I put my hand out to shake.
She graciously takes it.
I shake her
and-
hand vigorously.
And upon doing so, she's like, "Oh!" And then she actually like does like a little bow to it.
And I point at Vern. And, I tell her, this is Vern.
Just give a nod.
And she then was about to put her hand out, but then just kind of like does a small nod.
And then I point at Smoke. I'm like, that's Smoke.
And she reaches her hand out for yours.
She got any jewelry on that hand?
Yep. I'll take her hand. I'll shake her hand.
Any rings?
And she just gives you a very firm handshake.
Nice to meet you.
And she says the
And
same.
I am Natea. I put my hand out. I'm like, nice to meet you. We're the owners of the Troll Skull Tavern Manor. Soon to be.
Manor
It
House.
doesn't get blown up again.
Soon to be tavern.
I think I remember that place some time ago. Wasn't that an orphanage?
I think
Yeah,
it was for a bit.
Yeah. Apparently an orphanage with a really nasty owner, but
Children make great bartenders.
Mm.
I mean, and fantastic. Like they serve food pretty well as well.
And they can be food, but we're not going to do that.
And we scrub the floors. They do a pretty decent job scrubbing the floors.
I'm just like my face going, God, why every time?
And she says, yes. The light-hearted humor is entertaining normally, but I would really appreciate it if you could find and destroy this Nimble-right as quickly as possible before any further injury is brought to the people upon the city.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna get on that. And is Nim still close to where we?
Nim is still standing exactly in the same spot he was when you guys were inspecting and sniffing him.
Not creepily
Looking
at all.
very dejected as just from body posture.
Smells like rich mahogany.
You'd be surprised. He's got many leather-bound books as well.
Bits of real panther.
That's the one doing the sniffing.
I think. Do you think there's any info that we can extract from Nim that might be helpful?
Did you say this out loud?
Sure.
Okay.
But kind of like not to what's her name, more to my friends.
I think Nim might have heard you, but perhaps not clearly. Seems to like kind of take a step back and look like you're going to take information from, like, take parts from Nim. Nim looked a little frightened upon that response.
No. I'll walk over to him and I'll just, I'm gonna kneel down and be like, we're gonna go find your buddy that you made and we'll take care of him. But in the meantime, no more crazy birds. And I just kind of smile at him.
Has he seen his buddy since his buddy ran away?
And
Has he returned at all?
Nim actually responds to Natea first and just shakes its head. And then you
I
ask,
tell him when I come back, I'll have you make me a new bird that won't attack me. How about that?
At that, Valletta says no.
Smackdown.
There will be no more making. But what did you then say, Griffola?
Has his friend returned since he left?
Nim shakes its head no.
So wait, hang on. So the circumstances, like, so Nim made this. He made his friend, right? And then his friend just ran off. Okay.
Oh yeah, and how long ago did the friend go missing? I was gonna ask that, I forgot.
So Nim starts like motioning and doing the strange sign language that it's doing, and it's not your standard like sign language like you and I might know. It's something that they seem to have come up with here. But Nim, more or less through Valletta, is stating that it left a couple weeks ago, if not longer, and it was creating this detector to try and find it.
And does this one have a name?
And Nim says, does just shakes its head no.
Okay, well, I'll pat Nim on the shoulder kind of lightly, you know, and so we'll find it, and we'll, sadly, I hate to tell you, but we'll have to take care of it, but we'll try to bring back the pieces if you want them. I was like, I don't know how to comfort this thing anymore.
Valletta says, well, I would appreciate any evidence that you have of its destruction. But this does make sense now. I believe that Nim was probably making this detector to try and find your creation, and Nim slowly puts its head yes and no. Is she okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the door.
And then she says, how are you planning on using this? Can you leave the grounds? And Nim shakes its head very fervently and says, very well. We'll have to test that later. And says, Nim is magically bound to this location by the Magisters. So, I guess you were just trying to find out if your friend was near. And Nim just kind of slowly shakes its head yes, but then is like recoiling into the corner again. Says, well, take the detector, which, by the way, you guys get to see it. It looks really cool. There you go.
Oh, we'll take it. I'll tell her we'll take it. We'll find
yeah, I've
this.
got it.
Thank you. We'll take it. We'll go and try to find this thing and bring back what we can. And in the meantime, I look at Nim. I was like, try to behave so she's not so mean to you.
All right. So.
Ooh, hey Nim, can you make another one of those locks? Because that thing kicked my butt. I want to get better at that.
You can't really tell. Nim doesn't really move. And she says, Nim won't be making anything for some time. Come now. I'll come back and talk to you again later, Nim.
I think we should steal Nim.
I don't know. He may explode if you try to take him out of the ground. Since he's magically bound here, that would be bad. Anyway, yeah, we'll follow her out or whatever.
All right, and she escorts you guys down at least to the main museum area, so that you're back there, and says, "I'm sure you know the way out from here. It's just down across the way. Thank you again, and I do apologize for the inconvenience. You've been most helpful in finding out things that I did not anticipate."
Yeah, us too. But
Thank you.
thanks. We will be back as soon as we have progress.
Okay.
And I'll go and flag down a little cart guy, and I'll tell Ray, we need to go back to the tavern and discuss what we're going to do and put these new items away.
Okay. All right.
During the ride, I'm going to play with the little detector thing.
Okay. All right.
Just in case it goes off on the way there. You never know.
Are you like winding it up right now?
Yeah, no, not the lament configuration, the little umbrella Roddy.
Oh, okay, that thing. Okay, so you're pulling the lever on it, or the trigger.
Yes.
Okay.
It's in there going like woo, 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 woo.
So you pull the trigger, and absolutely nothing happens.
That's okay. Like I said, I'll keep pulling the trigger and I'll make little sounds with it. Just in case, between here and there.
So you're making sounds when you pull the trigger?
Yes.
Are you doing it obviously?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were going to like try throwing your voice or something. All right. So you press it, nothing happens. And you've got a cat going woo, woo, woo with a small mechanical umbrella in his hand. It's fabulous.
This is going to be a long ride home.
So you guys are getting back in the carriage and taking that back to the manor house?
Yes.
Okay. And Smoke, are you just pulling it the once?
Oh, no, this is a constant thing.
A what thing?
Constant. He's going to be doing it repeatedly.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I missed the word. So you're doing that along the way home. And you get no reactions from it whatsoever.
It's okay. I'm still playing with it.
Okay. You also have a pocket full of all sorts of shiny, like, nuts and bolts and things like that. It looks like you actually were able to get a mechanical bird's wing.
Hell yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm. And it's got these little metallic-looking feathers that actually are a little, like, every little line on the feather is actually, like, inscribed and stuff like that. It looks really fine work. It's pretty darn cool.
Heck yeah. I'm going to show that to Natea and be like, look, isn't it pretty? Woo, woo.
The only downside is that the feathers don't come off. They seem to be all like one thing. Like
That's okay. I'll add it to my collection.
Okay.
I'm just like, I didn't even want to know where you got that. Put it back in your pocket and bring it out again.
Right. So.
Oh, and the tools that I get, are they like bonus thieves tools?
No, it just replenishes and ensures that you have more than enough thieves tools to last you for some time. Even if you end up breaking a few of them, you've got some backups and replacements now.
Heck yeah.
Which is cool because, one, buying thieves tools is not something you usually want to do publicly. And two, they tend to be rather expensive to replace. So.
Heck yeah. I need that.
You basically have the equivalent of obtaining a second Thieves' Tools kit. How's that? Okay.
Nice.
Do you want to give her a trip?
In a minute.
Okay. So, you guys are now back at Troll Skull Manor. Are you going inside?
Yes, I'm gonna walk in and yell for Bonnie.
And she is going to be there and say, yes. What is it?
I put the stilts on the bar top and I'm like, I got you something.
And currently you see that a couple of the wood panels are off the windows at the moment. It looked like she was in the middle of trying to take a few more down. She says, okay, that's not necessary, but thanks.
No, it's okay. We were given to us, and I'm already tall enough. So I explained to her what they are and how they work, and I tell her, now you can freely clean top to bottom if you want, or do whatever you want to do, decoration,
Wow.
anything you want to do.
It's like getting a
Are you
Hoover.
passing her the stilts?
Yes.
Look, honey, I got you a vacuum cleaner for
Right,
your birthday.
yeah.
Because I love you.
And she kind of takes them, finding them a little bit heavy, and just goes,
Just sell them. I said, just sell them.
thanks. I'll.
Sell them.
And she kind of like goes over to Vern a little bit. What are they?
She's saying you're short.
What? And then she goes over to Griffola. What is he talking about?
Just sell them. Seriously, just sell them.
Thank you. And she just kind of takes them into the back room with this look of confusion on her face. You shouldn't have.
I just shake my head. I said, I tried. And just walk off.
Vern puts the pipe down and walks and starts taking down some of the wood.
And starts what?
I steal the pipe.
And the pipe's gone.
So after putting the pipe down, what was it that you said?
Take down the rest of the wood.
Oh, okay. You were taking down the rest of the wood. Okay. Make a sleight of hand check, Smoke.
Just going to point out, Vern does not care about the pipe.
Okay.
Do
You
I
were
see
able?
Smoke? Can I see if I see Smoke trying to take the pipe?
Yeah, he beat everybody's
Hang on,
passive
be right back.
perception there. So, yeah. He snatches the pipe. You now have the matchless pipe as well.
I see Vern with the wood. I'm like, hey, those stilts will help you.
Actually, looking at them, she's probably right. Because it's probably been it was probably a little more challenging than it looks for Bonnie
Vern.
to have taken those down.
Oh, Bonnie. Okay.
In fact, it looks like, how in the world did she get those down? Those are really big boards.
Considering Vern was the one who carried it back and forth, he should know.
It's also that they're latched very high up in the room as well, so you don't see a ladder or anything. Anyway, she comes back out and says, "Oh, I was just trying to get the boards off the windows because the window keepers are going to be coming in today to basically put things in place, and I wanted to have things ready. They'll be here in about an hour, so I was trying to get these down, but it's taken me a bit longer than I thought. Sorry, I didn't make anything for you guys yet. But if you want, I could stop and do that. I was just trying to help out with the windows."
No worries. Continues taking out the stuff.
Okay, all right, then I'll go make some muffins and just for a little snack for now, and I'll be back out in about say half an hour, which is probably about how long it's going to take you guys to take the rest of those boards down off the windows. Just
Considering
stack them.
Griffola, it's
I
a good
want to
idea.
wind up. I want to wind up my little box so I can see how long it parks.
So you can see how long what?
It barks.
Okay.
See how long it parks, because she didn't know if it was 8 minutes or 8 hours. So I would like to know.
So you wind it up, and then what do you do?
Or, you
I
know,
put it on the floor where
Okay.
we're walking and working.
Okay. So you wind it up, you put it on the floor, and within a few seconds, because people are walking around, you hear bark, 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 bark.
Try the big dog setting.
Oh yeah, try the big dog setting because I want to know.
And you flick it to that, and it changes to like this Cujo version. It's like growling, and it sounds like this crazy recording of stuff. It's really, yep. Like Foxy's version, borf borf, but but it's like the one is just this constant high pitched yapping, and the heavier one is like this feral wolf like dog almost like a dire wolf or something like that.
I just yell across the room, if you don't stop it, I'm gonna stomp it.
How close is Smoke to the box?
But I need to know how long it lasts.
He's flicking the switch on it right now, so he's like got his hands on it.
Okay.
So you're just gonna want it to keep going off for now?
Yes, like I said, I need to know how long it lasts.
Okay. Well,
I yell at him, take it outside.
because it is very loud. It actually is like you've got the dog right there, barking. So it's gonna constantly keep barking and barking and barking. Are you leaving? Are you staying inside?
No, I'm walking over him and I'm taking Smoke if he's holding the cube and I'm pushing him out the door.
Can I?
Play with your toys outside.
I kind of go over to the door,
Okay,
latch it.
fine.
Yep, you sure can. And then you've got Smoke standing just outside the open window. Borf, borf, borf. Borf, borf, borf. And it's just going and going. And you start hearing a baby crying out in the street.
I just
And the-
go for a walk or something with that thing.
There's some
not
people
here.
shouting at each other.
Can we just make him eat it? It might be a little confusing.
All right, so I guess I'll go for a walk, and I'll have the barking box in one hand, and then the little umbrella thing in the other, pulling the trigger.
Okay.
Wait a sec. Terry, did we just send Smoke on a walk alone?
I don't think anything's gonna come near him with that thing in his hand.
All right.
Well, the box.
What direction are you going, Smoke?
I'll head towards our competition. I figure I can walk around there and annoy the piss out of them for.
Oh, okay.
Oh God.
So it's just like over a few houses. You're not just like constantly going to walk in one direction or something.
No, I'll randomly wander about, but first I'm going to annoy the hell out of them for a bit.
Okay. All right. So you're there, and you've got the morphing going on, and there are people that are just like walking by, giving strange looks in your direction, and then they're just kind of like shaking heads and moving on or something like that. You've got one or two people that look like curious. Some
Well, yeah, it's a giant barking cat.
Right. I mean, they're wondering what the heck's going on, and you've got this mechanical tiny umbrella in your hand as well. You look rather comical, in fact.
Weezy's not smoking the mechanical, well, the self-lighting pipe. That's the word.
Yeah, I've got the pipe in my mouth too. I just need to find some tobacco.
Pipe, mechanical umbrella, and a morphing box. This is... Somebody needs to do fan art of this. I don't know. I need to do it if someone else doesn't. This is ridiculous. Okay.
If only I had a hat.
If only you had a hat.
True story.
I got cat pee smelling fancy clothes.
All the kids in the neighborhood are gonna think the circus is coming now, and their parents are gonna hate us.
Well, what are the rest of you doing now that you're hearing the morphing slowly going down the street? It's still pretty loud, but it's slowly moving away.
I'm like, I hope somebody doesn't call the city guard.
Kind of wish they do.
Yeah, but we have to pay to get him out.
You sure we have to?
Yes, we have to.
Can we at least get to keep the box?
Yes.
Pretty sure they'd confiscate it. All right. So, what you guys doing next? Well, he's hanging out at the competition's place and starting to draw more attention to himself.
They can find improvement.
Nobody picked up and used the stilts.
You handed them to Bonnie, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know if Vern was gonna go get him and.
No,
work
she
on
took him into the back. And then
Alright, I'll go in the back and find him. I'm like, Bonnie, where are those still?
She said, she's in the kitchen right now, and she says, "Oh, they're in here with me." And they're just next to, like, up against the wall by some of the wood that was for one of the stoves.
Okay, I'm gonna get him and I'm gonna take him back in the front and I'm gonna put him on.
Okay. It'll take you
Damn right.
1 minute to put those on.
Okay.
Damn, Dan.
You are
Do
now.
we have enough money if Smoke does get caught by City Watch?
You guys
jailed?
are done, busted broke, as far as I know. But you never know what kind of stuff you guys get into. Perhaps you
that
guys
means
can
we
get
just leave
other
Smoke in
contracts
jail.
or complete ones that you're working on. So, Natea, you are now 1 foot taller. Just by putting those on. You've got stilts strapped to your feet. You find it actually very easy to walk with these. Griffola, you see an extra tall Natea.
So how are we gonna find this Nimble right?
Borf.
I know.
Borf.
It's like, okay, this was fun and all, but
I just point in the direction that I hear the barking. I was like, he's got the thing. So I look at Vern. Do you want to call the city guard? Because you forget that he's got the I suggest y'all just let him get it out of his system, and then when he comes back, he'll lay down and sleep like a baby. I know this from
Right.
experience.
Can we just try to shoot it out of his hand and break it?
No. We'll go. Do you see what happened the last time you pissed him off? Yeah, you kind of got a little pissed on. It's kind of. I'm just clomping around like with my hands on my hips, walking around these stilts.
Bonnie
I have
says,
nothing
"Oh,
else
that
to lose."
reminds me. Sorry to interrupt, but apparently, I don't know. It seemed like some animal got into one of your bedrooms up there, so I had it cleaned. I hope you don't mind. I smelled a bit bad. But
It was Smoke.
oh, was that his room?
No, that was mine. Don't
Okay.
question it. Don't question it.
I hope you didn't mind that I had it taken care of. I hope that wasn't intended, but it was kind of stinking up the place, and people are gonna get food and drink here. Speaking of, when did you guys want to open?
oh my
I look
god.
at the windows and I look back at Bonnie. And I look at the windows again.
The fact
that,
that-
By
care
this
of.
point, Griffola is like, oh my god.
says
I
that,
just wanna...
the windows will be in by the end of day. I had a troop of halflings come in here just this morning. They're looking for work, so
I was like, is it too soon to ask if they're halflings? You know, the ones that got blown up outside.
that's not very funny.
That
She actually gets this very serious look on her face.
I just kind of mumbled to myself, Smoke would have laughed. I was like, okay, well, do you like them? Are they good?
I don't have anybody else.
Okay, we open tomorrow.
Oh goodness. Should
just
we
kidding.
should
We'll
we tell
open
people? Do you want to put up
Friday.
posters, or did we need to go around the neighborhoods and tell people?
We need
what-
to find
Put
this
a
fluff
sign
and
on
nimble right.
Smoke.
a what?
We need to find this nimble right.
What?
Yes, that's the thing that blew up the area.
Okay, until we find him, how can we possibly think about opening the thing, opening the tavern? Like, how do we know that he's not just going to do the same thing again? Or even worse, like wait until there's a crowd in here and then do it.
Griffola, I didn't expect this from you. But you
I know, me neither. Where the hell is this coming from?
She said,
We
well,
should have put a billboard on Smoke. Remember, next time when we're ready to open, we're going to put a billboard on Smoke and send him out with the barking cube.
hopefully the sign is not made of wood.
borf.
Yeah,
And-
can you
and-
imagine that? Oof.
You start hearing
Come
it
to our
getting a little bit more
tavern.
faint.
Murph, murph, murph.
And what do you mean by taken care of?
Oh, God, he's going towards the yawning portal.
No, he's going towards
he
your.
just told me he's
Oh, he is?
eating something to eat. Yeah, he said he's going to start heading towards the yawning portal. Lord
Okay,
help us all.
so then you start hearing the borfing get louder again. So as he's coming back in your direction.
Maybe we should like encourage Smoke to come back inside so we can find the flapping nimble right.
Ren is still wondering what happened to his stuff.
Not here. Looked like it was here a minute ago. Bonnie says,
Yeah.
"You know, we've got the employees now. We can manage the shop without you. Once we get the windows in place, you know, there was the dwarven protector lady that comes by in the mornings. I've been making sure to, you know, get her a muffin every now and again, and she might offer some discounted rates for protection of the place if you're really worried about it while you're gone. She's the one with that shield guardian that wanders around. Keeps an eye on the alley as it is.
How's she gonna protect from a fireball?
I don't know. She does magic. Do I look like I do magic? I was just given some options.
I mean, it could work, maybe. Either way, I need to stop Smoke from wandering away so we can get
Borf.
him in here and try to.
Borf.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's right out the window now.
I'll go in and I'll open the door and be like, "Get in here. We need a stupid box. We need that thing in your hand, not the box."
It's
other
actually
thing in your
hard
hand.
to, like, you're having difficulty hearing yourself because it's not just him now. He now has this small troop of children following behind him, banging loud things together.
Oh my goodness! Careful, you like children?
You like to eat them? Yeah, I'm
Right,
going to beyond the
right.
portal.
I couldn't eat
No.
a whole one.
Careful, you look meaner than I do. Could you go scare the children off?
Oh yeah, little thaumaturgy. She kind of like
Yes,
straightens her jacket, flexes her fingers, and heads outside. And I'll do like little thaumaturgy to scare away the children.
Well, what kind of thaumaturgy are you going to do? Making loud meowing noises?
1 second, and I will tell you exactly what kind of thaumaturgy I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cause tremors, and I'm gonna make my voice all booming and stuff.
What are you going to say? And I would like an intimidation roll.
You barking too?
it's the box. I'm telling you, it's still working.
Spreading.
I'm going to say, "Flee, little children, from this cursed place."
All right, make an intimidation check with advantage. And Smoke, you're pretty sure that it's been about 20 minutes at this point, and it's still going. All right, let's see that.
Seriously?
11. That's
I
actually
have a-
more than enough.
I have a
They're
fucking
just a bunch of kids with
+5.
pots and pans. They just scatter to the four winds at that point. They just like, "Ah!" You guys now have like a couple of extra
I
cake
run away
tins.
too scared.
You run away too.
Give me the detector! I yell after him. Before you run away, just give me the detector.
Nope, I'm gone.
Bork,
I'm
bork,
out of there.
bork. Well, it's easy to track him down if you want. He's making loud borfing
You know what?
noises.
Screw it. I'm going to bed. Good night. Good night, Bonnie. Have fun planning the opening. Bye. See ya. Crawler is frustrated.
I fear for Netea.
Why is that?
I just sigh. I'm just like, I just sit on these stilts. I just sit on the bar top like it's a chair. I just sit down and just like, I just look at Bonnie and I was like, I don't know what to do with any of these people anymore.
I see a cat.
Yes, he's meowing a lot, so I'm giving him some attention. He's not borfing though.
At
So-
least that's one cat that's not morphing.
You can start hearing the borfing getting farther away. Borf, 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 borf. As Smoke is wandering off.
We should go after him, shouldn't we?
This is
He's
like
not having money. He's gonna get hungry. and thirsty. He has to come back. He has no money. I have all of our money.
And how much money is that?
Oh, a couple here, a couple there.
So you have no clue either.
Bonnie
Oh,
says,
I have
but he's
plenty
got
of
a
clue. I
friend
keep
at the
up with
yawning
my
portal
money.
that would probably pay his way. Oh.
So about my stuff that was taken care of.
Stuff? She looks
Pretty sure
confused.
she had it cleaned.
Either cleaned or thrown away, I'm not sure.
Oh, no, it was just, we had it cleaned.
So
Taken
it
care of.
doesn't. So it doesn't smell like cat anymore.
No, it shouldn't. We had it, we had a magic
it-
spell put on the stuff to clean it up.
You had it Presbyterian.
Yes.
Prestidigitation.
Aye, that's it, yes.
Well, Vern, you got lucky.
I'm questioning if anything else other than my arrows and my bow smell like cat pee anymore, though.
As far as you're able to tell, if you go up and inspect it, you will not.
No, because I still have my bow and arrow, which still smell kind of like cat pee.
Right. But I meant
Everything
like,
else.
you check out your room. Your room would seem like it's fine in comparison. In fact, it seems like you are now the source of any kind of smell.
That's all I'm questioning. What else I have on that I did not get cleaned,
Just the items that you took from the room.
which is what I'm questioning.
Okay.
Good thing that might have been my quiver, arrows, and longbow, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. So, what you
So-
guys up to?
Bonnie, where was the wizard from?
What?
Where was the wizard from?
Oh, it's just one of my friends came through, and I asked if she minded, cleaning it up, and I hope you don't mind. I gave her a slice of pie for the effort. Trying to spread goodwill in the area before we open. You'd be
Heck
surprised.
yeah, anytime we can pay with pie, I'm down.
Pay with wait, what?
If only in real life we could pay with pie.
Pie payment. We'd need better pockets. Tupperware. Everywhere we go. So. what you
Hey,
guys up
electric
to?
company, here's a whole pie. Thanks for the month of lights.
All right, well, Smoke, you're getting down the street. At some point, looks like you've attracted some attention of some magisters. Seem to be approaching you. Loud morphing. In fact, it's actually starting to hurt your ears at this point. It's
All
very-
right, I'm going to try to figure out how to turn the thing off.
There's actually a big off button.
Excellent. I'll turn it off.
Morph.
Put it back in my put it back in my bag.
Morph,
But I am
morph,
still
morph.
using the little umbrella thing.
And what were you doing with the detector?
Pulling the trigger as I walk around.
Okay.
Whenever
All right.
I think I'm about 100 feet or so, I'll pull the trigger again, kind of, wave it about a bit, and then, I am doing something purposefully, actually, even though it looks like it's random.
Well, you're still approached by two members of the watch, or the magisters, excuse me, and they just happen to walk up and parallel your walking, start turning around and walking with you, and say, "Excuse me, I noticed you had some quite loud noises coming from your person not long since."
Oh, yeah. This really nice lizard lady gave me this thing that makes noise with vibration, and I needed to see how long it lasted because she thought it was 8 minutes or 8 hours. She couldn't remember. I'm going to guess it's 8 hours.
Says, I'd recommend if you want to test something like that, that you go out to the dock, or perhaps you go a little bit further than that, out onto a less residential place. disturbing the peace is a little bit of something that you don't want to do around these parts. It'd be appreciated. I understand.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to scare any fishes away. I know how fishermen are, you know.
You'd probably be used as bait.
Well, you could always go out to the mountain, or to Mount Waterdeep. That would be an easy enough place, or out to Deepwater Isle. That would be a very remote place for you if you wanted. But it's just a suggestion.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, but no, like it's lasted probably a half an hour or so. So I'm gonna guess it's 8 hours. Like I said, she wasn't 100% sure on.
He says, well, if you ever feel the need to test that length of time, again, I highly encourage you to take such a trip out to the isle on the other side of the harbor.
All right, will do. Thanks for the advice. Ooh, y'all have any tobacco for this pipe?
And the guy like kind of looks around and says, no, I don't smoke. And the guy that's with him just kind of shrugs his shoulders and he says, I'm sure you'll find a shop around. Have a good day. And they both tip their hats at exactly the same time. And they both arrange their like nightstick looking thing on their belt at the same time and both turn off.
Okay, bye.
So the borfing that you guys might have heard in the far distance stops.
Okay.
So either he got too far away or finally stopped.
It sounds like it stopped. He was still echoing, but it seemed to just stop, like mid-borf. I like that phrase, mid-borf.
And all got quiet mid-borf.
Mm-hmm.
And all got quiet mid-borf.
So,
should we go find him? I don't know how we find him now because he's not borfing anymore, but we could
That's
try.
a question.
you could probably determine a direction at the very least.
Well, didn't we think he was going to the yawning pod?
No clue where he's heading, but he will get hungry and come back home.
Eventually.
So we just wait, I guess.
Okay.
Well, actually, you can't. Unless, he does the smoke-like thing.
Smoke-like thing?
I'm not going to say it because he's going to then have an idea what he could do.
Well, I mean, I still have the silver that I stole from your room, so...
That's a side matter.
That's true. He could therefore pay. He could easily get himself several meals with that money. Probably get himself a decent meal and a night's place to sleep as well. Not a very nice place, but still.
So I'm pretty sure Natea would probably go after him if he did ditch for the night.
Bonnie bursts through. Muffins are ready!
While we're waiting for Smoke to return, I'm gonna head over to the one shop where we got the wood for the window boards.
Wait,
Okay.
Griffel's ignoring the muffins?
I'll be back for the muffins.
Okay.
Who are you?
And I am taking with me the 4 paintings from the Zentarum hideout.
Okay.
That I've had for ages.
And you're going to the wood shop?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask him if he can make frames for them.
If he can make frames for them.
Yep.
Ah, okay. Yes, he can, in fact.
Okay, fantastic.
Framing is something that he does regularly.
Okay, that sounds perfect.
It'll cost 1 gold piece per frame.
It seems a little steep, I say.
He says, I challenge you to find a better rate.
Okay, fair enough. Done.
Okay. It'll be done. It'll take me a couple days.
I could pay you an exposure. No.
And
I'm
he
just
just kind of
sorry.
like, are you really saying that?
No, I'm not.
Seriously. That would be a very bad thing to say.
Nope. No,
Instantly
I'll- Does he
smite.
does he want like a down payment on this work, or
He says, well, he'll need the paintings to make those
Yeah,
from,
I
so
took
you
them
don't
with
need.
him.
He's got collateral basically, so.
okay? So I say be very careful with these. They are very dear to my heart.
Ah, well, okay, sure. You're framing him, so one would assume.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll see you in a couple days.
Okie doke. You know, actually, I mean, I'm probably gonna forget to come and get them because we have a grand opening going on. Would it be possible for you to just drop them by Troll Skull when you're done? Just give them to Bonnie, and she'll know what to do with them.
Oh, Bonnie. Yeah, she stops by every morning.
Does she bring muffins? Her muffins are fantastic.
She does, actually.
Mhm.
You know, I'll just have her take these back with her when she stops by.
That would be amazing.
It'll probably be another day then, if that's right, because she stops by in the mornings.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. Well then,
Thank you very much.
it's a pleasure.
So then I'm gonna head back to Troll Skull and I'm gonna say, "Hey Bonnie, the woodshop guy is gonna bring by some paintings that he's framing for me.
And she kind of like goes, really?
Really, really? Would you like? Well, I was thinking we could hang one maybe down here, maybe one of the more subtle ones, and then the rest of them I would like to put in my room."
Okay. So, hold on one second. I need to look up the person's name. Dear God. Oh, that's
I've
running
got from Zentarum Hideout, is what I have regarding the paintings.
No, not the paintings. The
Oh,
guys.
the woodshop guy.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I don't know, because I'm on the city map. So.
Okay. I don't remember either. I could look up NPCs, but I'm not gonna remember which one it is. It's
Benthal or something like that.
No.
Let me get my glasses on.
Here, I'm trying to remember the name of the characters. Named NPCs. It was... No, not
Like
that.
Benswell or something? I don't know.
Tally.
Tally. Yes, it's that. Tally is the half elf owner of the wood.
There it is. Yes. And with that, she says...
Oh, that says bit nail. My bad.
The bent nail. Yep, that's it. And when you say, you know, I'll have the woodwright stop by, and she goes, "Oh, Tally,"
Yep,
and she
that's
kind
the
of gets
guy.
this look on her face.
Oh, really? Tally and Bonnie shipped.
Says, "Well,
I
That-
kind of
that's kind
raised my eyeyebrows at her, like, yes?
of." She just goes, "No."
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know.
he was very complimentary, by the way.
She starts blushing a little bit, and she's like, "So, is he stopping by, or am I stopping? I'm sorry, I kind of lost what you were saying."
He he was suggesting that next time, he said that you've been stopping by there on a daily basis in the morning.
Maybe.
So he was saying maybe you could pick them up while you stop by. But they do seem like they'd be awfully large to carry back here, and maybe you could use a hand. Just saying.
Oh, okay. Did you want some help with them, or I'm lost? She looks a little confused, and she
Well,
goes,
just in case I'm not around, because we have this nimble right to find, I was kind of hoping you might bring them back here when they're done.
"Oh, okay, yeah. I'll ask Tally for it."
'Kay.
And I was just, I give everybody around here a muffin, just, you know, trying to build up the business reputation before we open. That's all. And she's like twirling some of her hair a little bit
I'd say totally
subconsciously.
understandable and appreciated.
Says, well, and I'm sorry I've been pressing so hard for it, but it's a matter of you can only have employees coming into work waiting so long before they go somewhere else, you know. And if we don't open sooner, then we lose employees, or we have to start paying them with money we don't have yet. So I'm sure you understand.
I do.
Okay. I learned quite a bit from Dernan. He's been a good, well, teacher in some ways. Anyway, so I'll see to that with Tally. I'll get that taken care of for you.
Thanks.
Anything else I can do for you?
Nope.
Okay. I'll come back in a couple hours. I've already got the window fitters coming then, so I'll see you then.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts taking off, grabs a basket and like a sack that's empty and puts it in the basket and then walks out the front door.
Okie doke.
So, you guys just gonna wait for the kitty to come back? Kitty, come back. You're
Pretty
the
much.
only
For
one
now.
for me. Otherwise, about a few hours later, the window fitters come back and Bonnie, and along the way, the yawning portal comes within view of Smoke.
Excellent. Has my little thing gone off yet?
Not once. Starting to wonder if this thing even works.
I'll keep trying just in case.
Okay. Are you still making the noise when you try?
No, just kind of waving it around.
Okay. All right. So you reach the yawning portal. The window fitters start fitting the windows in place and so on. There's nothing really fantastic going on with that. You guys are there. Bonnie's there as well. She just wanted to make sure that someone would be there for them. And then, so you're at the yawning portal. You are inside, sir. What do you
Excellent.
do?
Well, I'll scan around, with my thingy, make sure it's not in there. And then I'm going to look for Yagra. Or, what's his face? Devlin.
You can actually see Yagra and Devlin sitting at a table outside of the curtained area. It looks like the curtain's pulled back, and they're just kind of sitting out there chilling at this point.
Excellent. I'll approach him. Yagra!
And it looks like you actually kind of startled her a little bit, but after she gets beyond that, because immediately she reached for her mace, but then she stopped and was like, "Oh, it's you. Good to see you. Have a seat."
Hey, thanks. I put my little umbrella thing away, but I still got the pipe. I'll take it out of my mouth and kind of wave it around, point with it, like you do with the pipe.
sort of like, yes, over there, yes. Yes.
Exactly. Hey, I have a question.
Right.
Y'all heard about the explosion outside of my place?
And Yagra kind of looks over, and what's his name? Devlin. He responds saying, "Yes, I'm quite aware."
Yeah. Well, there's this Zentarum guy that got injured, and I think he may have taken something that I want.
Really? Go on.
Yeah, he got kind of burnt, had kind of a limp, and he may have gotten this rock with some eyes painted on it.
That all sounds a bit confusing. Did you get any names?
No, I sure didn't. But he's injured, and so he's going to be looking for, probably some undercover aid.
Well, I can't say I've heard of any that have been in there that I've Actually, it doesn't sound familiar to me whatsoever. I mean, I heard of the explosion in that district, but was it close by?
Yeah, it was like right out my place. Blew out the windows. Really, really pain in the butt. We're about to open, and it killed all of our entertainment. So now we're having to find new employees.
Oh, wow. Right. And he goes, I've been there, my friend. So, but I don't have anything for you. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, oh yeah, and the bomber was a wooden man with a beard and mustache. And do you have any tobacco for this pipe?
Saving the most important point for last.
He says, I don't, but I'm sure you could probably ask Durnan over there for some. He usually keeps a stash back there, but they recently outlawed smoking in the bar for some reason. And you see that he's actually got a little bit of a shake to his hand when he says it. And he says, but I think it's because people were worried about fires breaking out again. But
Okay, they're worried about fires whenever there's a giant hole that has trolls crawl out of it, and they're worried about people smoking. I think their priorities are wrong.
Yeah, it was actually that incident that they restricted it because there was too many chances for... I'm not going to go into the details, but he may have some for sale there, but then he does insist you, if are going to smoke, go outside on the step or something like that. But yes. If I see or hear anything, I'll have somebody contact you. I'll send the usual messenger if so. Would that be okay?
I'd appreciate it. But again, you haven't heard anything about a wooden man with a mustache?
I can't say that I have. That's pretty unique. I'll have to put my ear to the ground and see what I can find out.
Yeah, because these things are usually built to be assassins. And if they have the, automaton assassin and they tried to send it after you, I mean, that would not be...
He says, no, that would not. And the fact that, did you say Zentarum operatives were involved?
Yeah, that's who I think took my rock. You know me and Shiny Stuff.
Well, we don't keep dibs on everybody at all times. But I guess perhaps it's time we do a little bit of a head count. Maybe check first some of the agents in that area. Well, like I said, I'll see what kind of information I can dig up. I don't know that what I will be able to, but I'll keep in touch.
All right, I appreciate it. It was good to see you again, and watch out for, walking wooden people.
Right. You as well? And Yagra goes, wooden people.
Yep, they're made of wood, and they're people.
Well, I might violate the smoking rule in here if one shows their face then.
Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Fire it up.
And then she just kind of claps you on the shoulder. And he says, is there anything else that you need, or is our business here concluded?
Nope, I'm good, buddy. Just wanted to let you know, and I appreciate the information that you find for me. I'll get up and head towards what's-his-face to see if he has any tobacco.
Okay. And Durnan actually says, he's back behind the counter and says, what's your pleasure?
Can I get some tobacco?
He says, sure. And he pulls this pouch out that he's got actually on his side, and it looks like he's actually got a dip in his lip right now.
Awesome. I just need a bit to put in this pipe.
And he says, oh, yeah, you don't want to use this for that.
Oh, okay.
This is chewing tobacco. Hold on. And he goes and grabs this canister off the one of the shelves. And it's actually like this tin canister, very thin. Opens it up inside, and he opens it, and you can smell It smells sort of like honey and cherries. And he says,
Nice.
And he says, here you are, some pipe tobacco. Did you just want a small amount, or will you take the tin?
I don't know. Here, let's just stuff this thing full, and I'll put burn silver on the thing. I'll trade you some of this for it.
He says that silver should cover it. And
All right.
he
Man,
pushes
smoking expensive.
he pushes the tin towards you and says that would cover it.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And you now have a tin of honey cherry tobacco, pipe tobacco, in fact.
Nice. I'll go ahead and just shove a bunch in there and start heading back to Troll Skull.
Okay.
I'll light as soon as I get out.
Okay. And it lights up and puffs nice, and you've got yourself a nice smoking tobacco. Anything else along the way?
Well, on the way back, I'll keep using my little thing just in case,
Right.
looking for the automaton.
Okay. So you're pulling the trigger the whole time. Trigger. Nothing happens. You end up getting back to Troll Skull Alley at about the same time that they finish fitting all the windows. They're actually really efficient with it. They were using some mages to help along the way, and things get fitted quite nicely. They're just cleaning up the exterior of some of the ladders and stuff that they had in place, and they're moving on to the next shop.
Awesome. I gotta take my pipe out, nod and point, go, fine work, and walk back in.
Yes, fine work, yes.
Indubitably.
I'm just imagining a giant cat with a pipe in hand.
Usually you imagine a Rakshasa like that, but in this case, no. It's a big snarfle-toothed lip-looking guy.
And then he has a box in one of his hands that's probably also barking.
So, upon the windows being completed, door swings open, and there stands a pipe-smoking cat by the name of Smoke. Has returned with his Nimble-right detector in hand. And a pipe that is lit.
That's right. I've been doing some sleuthing stuff.
And have you found anything?
No, not a thing.
That was a wonderful use of time. Just ignore the cat in the background, folks. Okay.
Are you sure Smoke is not just meowing?
Mhm.
It's his infernal nature.
Is Smoke a tabaxi? Yes, Smoke is a tabaxi. Oh my gosh. Spunky, come here. So, Smoke is a tabaxi, yes. And actually,
The best tabaxi ever.
what I think we're going to do is I think we're going to end it here, because if I don't, my existing cat is probably going to be the death of me, because he is growing increasingly more impatient. And it's about that time for me to end the stream anyway. Sorry for starting a little bit late. And I think you guys can tune in next time to find out if they will find, or what their strategy might be for finding said Nimble-right, besides wandering up and down the high road.
And if there's going to be a friendly killer or not.
Indeed.
Strategy? That's insane.
Mm.
What?
Or
Crazy talk.
strategy or lack thereof would be more appropriate. All right.
I'm throwing
Yeah,
shit
right.
at the fan and seeing what sticks.
I've already got people looking around for the guy with the rock and for the wooden man. I've done a bit of work.
So we
And
just
started
sit
back
back
out.
and wait for them to come to us.
There you go. Yeah,
Job's done, I
nothing
think.
nothing could possibly go wrong.
Okay, yeah.
You guys are opening the business tomorrow, or are you? Actually, I need to find
No.
out. Are you or no?
We're going
Yes.
to do that after you find the person. Well,
Nope,
the-
we're going to open before.
what's the name of the thing? What's it?
Because the last thing that was told to Bonnie was, yes, you're opening tomorrow, but then you were discussing leaving the place unguarded. So I'll leave it to you guys to figure that out. How's that? You can let me know if you want to open up tomorrow or when, or just
Well, yeah.
not tomorrow.
We need to open up tomorrow because it might draw out the wooden.
That's assuming that their intention was really just to mess up your business.
It wasn't. It was to get the rock. But who cares?
All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for coming out tonight, players and viewers alike. And if you're watching this on YouTube, come on over and join us on Twitch to join us for the live show. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.